me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Larks. Larks! I'll be rooting for the Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Larks. Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Larks. Larks!
And playing second base from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 2, Tanner Rice. Second, playing third base from Arizona Western College, number 4, Ben Ferenzi. Third, playing right field from Creighton University, number 1, Jack Terosia. Fourth for the Larks, playing first base from Murray State, number 20, Garrett Gruel. Fifth, playing left field from the University of Tennessee, number 33, Dylan Dreiling. Sixth, the designated hitter from the University of Oklahoma, number 28, Cade Brown. Batting seventh tonight, 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the catcher from Seminole State College, number 5, Jackson Halter. Batting eighth, playing shortstop from the University of Tennessee, number 3, Austin Jaslow. And batting ninth, a center fielder from East Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Jimmy. Tonight making the pitching start for the Larks, 2-0 on the season from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 32, Hunter Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, in his 40th season with the Larks, please welcome the head coach, Mr. Frank Leo. Larks pitching coach is Keith Harper. Assistant coach is Dusty Dreyer.
2, here is go back.
Head coach Frank Leo and his wife Barb. It's a fitting location for the party tonight because 50 years ago it was right here at Larks Park where they first met when Frank was playing second base as a junior for the Fort Hays State Tigers. They're joined on the field tonight with their family members, including their daughters Lindsay, Gina, Abby. The daughters' husbands, Doug, Jeff, and Matt are also here, along with Barb's sisters, Thelm and Margaret and their families, and their grandchildren, including grandson Colton, who has a very special baseball to throw out for tonight's ceremonial first pitch. You see, it was that baseball that sealed the deal for Frank 50 years ago, as it is the home run ball that he promised Barb he'd hit for the Tigers the day after their first date. Barb and Frank couldn't think of anyone they'd rather celebrate their 50th anniversary with than the thousands of Larks fans who've helped make so many memories for their family over their 50 years. Let's wish Barb and Frank a very happy 50th anniversary. And Colton, let's see you fire that ball across home plate. All right, there you have it. Congratulations, Barb and Frank, on your 50th wedding anniversary from everybody in Larks organization. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your umpires for tonight's game. On the bases is Tony Vega, and behind
down at the ballpark where I'll be rooting for the Hays Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hays Larks.
Game 2 against Liberal coming live from Larks Park. A big one for both teams. The Larks go with their big man on the bump, Hunter Marshall, 2-0 on the season, making his 9th appearance on a Lark. As a Lark, his first pitch is in the zone. The second one is swung on a miss versus Gavin Brzezowski. 0-2 quick. big one between both teams. BJ's have a 1.5 game lead over the Larks. Larks win it tonight. They set themselves up to potentially win a Rocky Mountain Baseball League. The Liberal gets the win. They almost guarantee a Rocky Mountain Baseball League championship. Liberal does what they did a lot yesterday and pick up a 2-strike hit. It is a leadoff single for Gavin Brzezowski. There is a runner at first with nobody out here for Hunter Marshall and the Larks. Larks 21-3 in RBL play. The BJ's 23-2. Larks snapped a 19-game winning streak for the BJ's yesterday. BJ's, their last 2 losses, both against the Larks. Ground ball goes behind Marshall's leg. It rolls to Jaslov, who tags the back, throws to first. In time, he did it yesterday and does it again. A 6-3 double play. Jaslov to Gruel, Keaton Grady, 0 for 1. And in this series, in the 4 games against the Larks, he is now 5 of 13. 2 away, Larks hit a big double play from the Tennessee Volunteer to the Murray State Aggie. One 0 counts versus Dalen Pena. Pena in yesterday's contest was in the dugout, did not play in the game, according to the Larks game changer, but I could have swore we had him in the lineup. But regardless, his count is 1-1. Marshall slider catches the corner. Quickly, Marshall up the count 1-2, 2 away. Base is empty in the top of the first inning. Larks beat them yesterday 6-4. It was a big win for the Larks, who had a clutch 8th inning, scoring 2 runs to break the 4-all tie. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Marshall versus Pena, the DH out of Texas State. Marshall on the mound out of University of Texas Arlington gets a ground ball to Ferenzi. Throws sidearm to first. Just like Brady Rose did for the Larks in the first inning yesterday, Marshall faces the minimum. Brady did it in 5 straight innings. Marshall's thrown 1 and gets 1. Scoreless as we move to the bottom of the first here in Hayes.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Bottom of the first, Rice will lead things off for the Hayes Larks. He had yesterday off and is down the counts Or actually, that pitch missed outside, so he's up in the count. 1-0. Marshall faced the minimum. In the top half, he turns it over to another UTA Maverick for the bottom of the first. Rice with a 1-1 count. Ferenzi on deck, Tarosian in the hole for the Larks. It's Colby Dyduk on the mound. He has no record on the season. He's out of Paris College. He's a Cleburne native, just like Larks pitcher Cam Walton. 1-1 from Dyduk above the letters. 2 balls and a strike to the Larks second baseman out of Mesa, Arizona. Tanner this year against the BJs is 0 for 2. He's only played in 1 game. Outside call, hitters count for Tanner Rice. Rice has been big for the Larks. It's good to have him back in the lineup today. This season he's batting .314 with an OBP sitting at .455. He will walk on 5 pitches and get the Larks a base runner here in the first inning. Rice had a teammate on the BJs in town. It was Tice Armstrong. They met up today during the day, and now we're facing up against each other. Ferenzi to the box with Tanner Rice at first base. (1-0). Dyduk has thrown 6 pitches. Only one of them has found the zone. Dyduk, 8th appearance as his second start. He's thrown 11 innings, struck out 19, walked 12, has an ERA sitting at 3.27. He's a tall righty, stands at 6'5". Before he was at Paris Community College, he was at UTSA where he pitched for the Roadrunners, but didn't see any real action. This year at Paris, he went 10 2/3 through 6 appearances. 2 of those 6 were starts. He went to 1-0 with a 3.38 ERA. 2 balls and a strike for Ferenzi. Ferenzi in yesterday's contest, 0 for 3, but he scored a run and he walked. 2 balls and a strike. Rice standing at first base. He's not running, and Ferenzi will see this one go over his head. He was hit yesterday. He leads the team in hit by pitches, had his mouth open. Shocked after that one that it was missing him. He was a little bit shaken up by it. He's been hit 15 times this season. 15 of the 54 hit by pitches that the Larks have seen have been because of Ben Ferenzi. Colby Dyduk on the bump has hit 4 already this season. He's hit 1 in 4 of his first 5 appearances. His last outing was against the Game Day Angels, where he went 2 innings, got the save, no hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. It's his first action against the Larks this season. Tanner Rice moved up into second base and in scoring position, but the pass ball won't matter much because Ferenzi still walks. Back-to-back walks start the game for the Larks. Couldn't start it better if you're trying to get Dyduk frustrated. 2 on, nobody else. Larks didn't score. Neither team scored in the first inning yesterday, but the Larks picked up a run in the first and then in the third. Scored 2 in the first, then went scoreless until they picked up 2 to break the tie in the 8th inning. BJ scored their first run in the 7th inning, was a 3-run 7th. And then they scored 1 in the 8th. Tough call against Jack Tarosian as this pitch looked like it was outside. Home plate umpire Corey Burkhart said it was in the zone. Umpires tonight, Tony Vega on the bases. He was the home plate umpire yesterday, and Corey Burkhart is behind the plates. The 0-1 delivery to Jack Tarosian. It'll miss the zone, a ball and a strike. This is Tarosian's 4th game against the BJs. He is 3 of 13 at the plate against them. He has scored a 1 run, and it was in Liberal. 2 walks this inning for the Larks. Looking to move the guys over is Tarosian. The pitch from Dyduk outside. He is struggling his location here in this first inning. BJ's dugout watch with much anticipation. Garrett Grohl standing on deck, keeping his eyes on the field. Coming out to talk to his pitcher is Ryan Leary. Moves in from shortstop. Not often do you see the shortstop go have a mound visit mid-at-bat instead of the catcher. Rice at second, Ferenzi at first. 2 balls and a strike for Jack Tarosian at the plate. Didek has missed the zone a lot today, and he misses on this one. 3-1 hitters counts. Every batter so far has seen the 3-1 counts. Rice walked on 5 pitches. Ferenzi walked on 5 pitches. 11 balls and 3 strikes so far for Colby Didek. 3-1 is going to be swung on and missed, and it'll be a full count. This year, Jack Tarosian's seen walks and he's seen strikeouts. He has the most walks on the team with 22, tied with Dylan Dreiling, but he's also struck out the most, being punched out 31 times, 3-2 counts. Didek goes from the stretch, payoff pitch. Good job of Tarosian to foul it off and stay alive now. Tarosian has a very good 2-strike approach. He's battled some long at-bats, and a lot of those strikeouts came after long at-bats that he has on the season. He's played in 36 games, picked up 45 hits, and has quite a few 2-strike hits. Gruhl sitting on deck, Dreiling in the hole for the Larks. Payoff pitch number 2 from Didek. In the zone, Jack Tarosian will strike out for the 32nd time this season. It's been the only flaw in his game has been the punch-outs.
The first baseman from Murray State, number 20, Garrett Gruhl.
1 away for Garrett Gruhl at the plates. Garrett Gruhl had his hitting streak snapped yesterday. It was at 11 games, and he had hit in his first 11 games yesterday. Did not get a hit, obviously, but he still managed to get on base 3 times and even scored 2 runs. He reached on 2 errors and was hit by a pitch. Didek fastball bounces in. 1-0 count to the JUCO All-American. One ball and a strike. 1-1 counts, 1 away for Gruhl. Gruhl, big time pickup for the Larks mid-season. He's hitting .422 with a .491 on base percentage. Rice jumps at seconds. The 1-1 grounded down the third base line, so close to being fair in an RBI. It goes to the left side of the bag. Gruhl will have to wait a little bit longer, and we'll have a 1-2 count. Dreiling standing on deck. Currently having a phenomenal season. Cade Brown in the hole for Hayes. One-two, Didek looking for his second strikeouts. It won't happen on this pitch as the breaking ball misses above the letters. Garrett Gruhl from Groesbeck, Texas. Played at Murray State this past year with Larks catcher Brady Evans, who caught 3 straight games, not catching tonight. Gruhl batted .385 and was a second-team All-American, was Region 2's Player of the Year. 2-2 pitch, the slider gets called a strike. That is a tough call. Apparently it just caught the outside corner. Garrett Gruhl exchanges some words with Dylan Dreiling and gives him a little bit of info about the strike zone. Dylan on a tear as of late. If the season ended today, he'd set the single-season Larks record for slugging percentage. He's just 4 thousandths away from the batting average record. He's currently sitting in second in the on-base percentage race and in third for a single season in RBIs, tying the mark yesterday with 57, even though the screen showed 56. He's currently at 57. 57 runs driven in, 41 runs scored for Dylan Dreiling. As an 0-1 count, Larks left a ton on the base paths yesterday. Can't afford to do in the first inning when you walk on back-to-back guys. Line drive goes to York. It bounces off his glove. A diving effort saves a run, but he isn't able to get the outs. Good hit for Dylan Dreiling. It stinks that York was just right there. But in the meantime, Dreiling puts his hitting streak at 17 games and pushes his average on base percentage up.
Designated hitter, University of Oklahoma, number 28, K. Brown.
K. Brown to the box. Had a really good game yesterday. Went 1 for 2, but he picked up a trio of walks and drove in 2 runs. Walked in a run in that crucial 8th inning. And is looking to get a hit today. First pitch to him, a fastball in the zone. Bases loaded, 2 away in the bottom of the first in a scoreless contest. Rice at first, Frenzy at second, Rice at third, Frenzy at second, Drowning at first. Oh, 1, pitch number 2 below the knees of CB. 1-1, Kata returning Lark from last year's roster. As one of 8 guys returning from a previous year and one of currently 6 guys just from last year's team that are still on the roster. We lost Luke Terbeek. He had to go back home to the Netherlands earlier. Brady Rose is a returning Lark, but he's returning from 2020 and not 2021. 1-2 count after the swing and a miss. Diduck looking to work out of a jam. One, 2 count. Larks with 2 walks and a single in this inning. They've struck out 2 times. Diduck's pitch popped up. He will work out of a jam pending no error. On the pop-up, Leary moves back and gets under it. Larks leave the bases loaded for the 3rd time in the past 2 days. And after putting 2 on to start the inning, they will not score anything till the second we go scoreless here in Hayes. Top of the second, Marshall back to the bump, fires in a first pitch strike to Zach York, the first baseman, who immediately gives some feedback to his dugouts and allows their minds to adjust to what the strike zone will look like tonight. Tanner Rice was playing back into the left at second base. It still goes under his glove into right field. It'll be a leadoff single for Zach York, who had a pinch hit single in yesterday's contest. Marshall started off both innings allowing a single. Marshall 2-0 this season. This is his 7th start. He's thrown 30 and 2/3. He struck out 30, walked 7, given up 24 hits. It's a lot of hits, but really nothing has come from him. Just 2 earned runs this season with a .61 ERA entering this contest. Called strike here to Hudson Polk, the catcher out of Oklahoma. Marshall was a Oklahoma commit out of high school, or when he was in high school, then decommitted, committed to UTA, where he will now have a former OU assistant coach, Kyle Van Hook, be his head coach. 1-1 counts, runner at first here in the top half of the second. Marshall delivers a fastball, misses the zone. 2-1 count, just missed the inside corner. Armstrong on deck, hexed in the hole for the Liberal BJs. BJs are 16-4 on the road this season. Larks are 20-2 at home. Each team needing this win after the ground ball from Polk is fouled. Broke his bats, and he will get a new one from the dugouts. Could hear it at the ballpark that something cracked with it. Nothing shattered and flew anywhere, but that is enough to ruin a bat and make Polk cough up some dough for a new one. York standing at first base with Gruhl not holding him on, but standing right behind him. Marshall on the mound has one of the best pickoff attempts in the league, if not the best. 2-2, ugly swing from Hudson Polk. Marshall strikes out his 31st of the season. Let's check out that defensive alignment for the Larks. From left to right in the outfield, Dreiling, Jeminian to Rosian. Ferenzi in the hot corner opposite of him. Garrett Gruhl at first. Jazz again at shortstop. Rice back at second base. Jackson Halter behind the dish for the Larks. It's his first action in a while after Brady Rose caught the past 3 games. Halter's 18th game as a Lark. It's his first time playing in a week. His last game was against Fort Collins on the 15th. Ground ball from Armstrong. Goes to Gruhl, to Jaslove, to first base. Armstrong dives to first base. And the UTA Maverick will be out after his teammate at UTA. Marshall caught the ball in time. Marshall gets double plays from his defense in both innings. This one a 3-6-1 double play to end the top half of the second inning. Larks look to get on the board in the bottom half here from Larks Park. Jackson Halter's first at bat in a week will lead off the bottom of the second. He takes a tough called strike. Here from Diduck in the second inning. Diduck left the bases loaded. It's a third inning that the Larks have left him loaded in the past 2 days. He struck out 2 and got an inning-ending pop-up. Pitch will miss the zone. Halter does his version of the Soto shuffle and has a 1-1 count. Halter's 18th game as a Lark, and his last efforts, he went 2 for 4 with both of his hits being home runs. He drove in 5 and scored those 2 runs. 1-2 counts for the Larks catcher out of Seminole State. Jaslove on deck, Jeminian in the hole for Hayes. Ground ball up the middle. Moving forward is Grady, reaches low and throws to first in time for the first out of the second inning. To Jaslove we go. It's the shortstop out of Knoxville. Jazz 4 of 13 against the BJs in his 3 games against them this season. He has scored a run, driven into, walked once, and also stolen a base. Waits on a breaking pitch from Diduck. Fouls it off 1-1. Diduck was ranked as the 27th best right-handed pitcher in the state of Texas by Perfect Game in the 2020 graduate class. Here in 2022, he will hit Austin Jaslov on his second pitch of the at-bat. 7th hit by pitch of the season for Jaslov, 5th for Kobe Diduck.
Center fielder from East Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Jimmy.
Larks were hit twice in yesterday's contest. Gruel and Ferenzi were the hit by pitches. Runner at first base with with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, Jiminian, we're at the bottom of the order. He's at the plate. Getting started in center field tonight. He batted 6th yesterday, gets bumped down in the order. Larks' lone hit of the day is the Dylan Dreiling single. Rice and Ferenzi each with a walk in the first inning. Now Jaslov's been hit. Those are our 4 base runners here in the contest. Larks left 14 on yesterday, still got the 6-4 win. It was a great pitching effort from Brady Rose, who went 6 innings, allowed 1 hit and 1 walk, faced just 1 over the minimum. Cade Hare threw the 7th inning, or at least 2 outs of it, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs went to his name, 1 earned. And the Larks brought in Tabor with 2 outs in that 7th inning. Tabor finishes the game 2 1/3 with 4 hits and an earned run, striking out 4. 1-2 count after the Jiminian check swing. He has Rice on deck and Ferenzi in the hole for the Larks. Ground ball to the left side. It shouldn't be 2 because of Jiminian speed. The 6-4-3 double play will not happen. They will get Jazz out at second base. And Jiminian reaches on the fielder's choice and keeps the second inning alive. Top of the order in the bottom of the second, Tanner Rice to the plates. It's tough to bat around through 1 2/3 and not have any runs, but the Larks have done it. Rice at the plate. He led off the bottom of the first with a walk and then was left at third base to end the first inning. Jiminian has speed, standing at first base. Hasn't stolen a base against Liberal this season, but he's stolen a ton in his 3-year Larks career. This year he is 15 of 16 in stolen base attempts. The only guy with more than him, Jack DeRosian, is 19 of 22. Rice looking for hit number 28 after picking up walk number 22 in the first inning. Him and Terosian and Dreiling a 3-way tie for the most walks on the roster. 0-1, Diduck delivers home. Rice sends it opposite field on a line drive. Goes into the Larks bullpen. No balls, 2 strikes. Diduck dangles the right arm, looks at Jiminian standing at first base. Goes home, Jiminian's taken off. The throw down to second base. Not in time. Jiminian steals his 16th of the season. Good running from Jiminian. A good throw from the Oklahoma Sooner, poke behind the plates. But Leo is safe at second. He has now stolen 49 bases for the Larks in his career. This is Leo's 91st game as a Lark. One ball, 2 strikes. The Frenchman standing at second base with 2 away. Pitch home to Rice. He pops it to the backstop. Good crowd here for a crucial game in the RBL championship race. Ton of fans in the stands and a ton standing in the fan pavilion where there's a bunch of balloons for the 50th anniversary of Frank and Barb Leo. There with 2 away. Tanner Rice flies one to right field, but talking about Frank and Barb Leo, it's their 50th anniversary. They're celebrating it at the ballpark. Happy anniversary to them. The Larks program would be nothing without what those two and their families have done for the Larks. Top of the third, Marshall back to the bump. He's thrown 2 good innings, allowed 2 hits, but has faced the minimum because of 2 double plays. He helped turn the last one, a 3-6-1 double play to end the second inning. Talking about Frank Leo and his wife and his anniversary. 50 years, they got married 50 years ago today, July 22nd, 1972. They've celebrated a bunch of their anniversaries on baseball games, and they're doing it here today, spending it with the fans. Leo is a 2015 National Baseball Conference Hall of Fame inductee, was a 2005 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame inductee. 11 years before that, in 94, he was a Class 5A Coach of the Year, and a few years after that, in 98, he was a Kansas Coach of the Year and the Region 5 National Coach of the Year. He's a Fort Hays Athletic Hall of Famer, a Kansas Baseball Coaches Hall of Famer, and a Kansas Association of Baseball Coaches Hall of Famer. 1 ball, 1 strike, Marshall versus Hext here in the third inning. Frank has really built the Larks program up. Without Coach Leo, there wouldn't be much of a Larks program, and Barb has helped out a lot and made a lot of sacrifices because of her husband's job. Fly ball to deep right field, fair it up, and it's gone, but it is foul. Hext will now be working with a 1-2 counts. Marshall with that strikeout in the second inning tied another Hunter Parker for the second most strikeouts currently on the Larks roster. Each guy sitting with 31. One, two, just low. They'll appeal to Tony Vega. Says the bat did not cross home plate. Marshall making his 7th start today. This is the most on the active roster. And he has the best ERA on the team. Fly ball to left field. It'll be out of play. Hext at the plate. He's the center fielder. He's a Lake Charles, Louisiana native. He goes to McNeese State. Marshall will go from the stretch. Not a wind-up guy. He will miss inside. Dodging it as Hext. Count moves to 3-2. Leary on deck. Hensley in the hole. We're at the 7th hole in the order. Marshall without an earned run in the past 13 days. Looking to keep it that way. Payoff pitch. It misses the zone according to home plate umpire Corey Burkhardt, not Fitzpatrick. That was yesterday's. Marshall complains from the mound and looks at his defense, hoping for another double play. Marshall really doesn't complain on the mound. The only times I've ever seen him do it when it's clearly bad calls. His last outing was against Fort Collins, where he went 6 innings in the start, picked up his second win of the season. It was a one-hit effort, no runs, just 1 walk, and he struck out 4 before that. Went 5 innings in the start against the Outlaws on the 9th. 1 earned run, striking out 3. And another game before that, pitched on the 4th of July in Colorado Springs. 5 innings in the 7-inning run rule win. No runs. He punched out a season-high 8. 0-1, check over at first. Not in time. Marshall with a very good pickoff move. Doesn't get it to get an out here. Just the 8th walk he's given up this season. Allows that runner at first. Another check on him. Not in time. Liberal with 2 hits, a walk, no runs, no runners left on through the first 2 innings. Larks 1 hit, 2 walks, no runs. They've left 4 on the base paths. 0-1 for Marshall. Fastball low and outside. Halter grabs it. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Leary shuffles away after the swing. He got tied up. Leary, the shortstop, bound to Texas State. He's from Liberty Hill, Texas. Marshall on the bump from Keller, Texas. Went to Keller High with Larks former shortstop Matt Cavanaugh. Runner takes off for second. Halter's throw goes way far the second base bag and into center field. Hext, however, stays at second despite the ball going out to Leo Geminian. Runner in scoring position for the first time today for the Liberal BJs. Halter is battling some pain early on. I shouldn't say early on, but as of recent is back in the order today. Catches this one outside, doesn't get the frame call. 3-2 moves the count to Leary. Marshall may be looking to go with the same pitch that tied up Leary. And Leary will call time before he can see the pitch. Defense straight up here in Hayes. Lights on. It's clouds straight overhead. Giving some shade to the guys on the field on a hot night. And it's been a really hot few series here in Hayes. Payoff pitch, swung on a miss. Marshall strikes out his second of the day, number 32 this season. There is one away with a runner in scoring position. Marshall struck out 6 this year at UTA through 5 2/3. Made 5 appearances for the Mavericks and has a chance to be a big guy for them this season. He was a district newcomer of the year out at Keller and was twice first team all district, and in 2018 and 2019 he was a perfect game preseason underclass All-American high honorable mention. Bottom of the order, Caden Hensley at the plate. He's the left fielder out of Lubbock Christian. Marshall home, inside it will hit Hensley, but now the Larks set up another double play on the right side of putting that runner at first. Opponents have hit .229 for a batting average against Marshall this season. He has a strikeout per batter face rate of .23 and has forced a ton of swing and misses, but Keith Harper will come out of the dugouts and have a chat with his righty. Marshall has a swing and miss rate at 13%, so 13 of his pitches result in a swing and a miss. His veteran pitching coach comes down and chats with him. 2 on with 1 out. Keith Harper talking to him. Harp in his 18th season as the pitching coach and assistant coach of the Larks. He was a two-sport athlete at Fort Hays State, where he played basketball and baseball for the Tigers, and in 1975 was an all-conference selectee. He coached with Frank Leo for a ton of years at Hays High and with the Larks. Larks without Andy Luton right now, their assistant coach, who played for them at Hays High. And for the Larks, they got Dusty Dreyer, the current head coach of Hays High School, putting up as the third coach. Says he played for the Larks and he coached under Frank Leo at Hays High School, and he played for him. 2 on, 1 outs. 1 away for the top of the order, Gavin Brzezowski, who is 1 for 1 today with a single. Line drive to the backstop, 1-1. Harper's meeting with Marshall with shorts. Guys usually respond pretty well after chatting with Harp. We'll see what Marshall does here. Check swing. No appeal. 2-1 counts. Brzezowski this year, .465 batting average with a .540 on base percentage. Has played in 29 games now. Has 54 hits, 28 singles, 18 doubles. Sends this one to deep right field. Looking up is Terosian. It's a bat flip from Brzezowski, and he puts the BJs up by 3 early on here in the 3rd inning. Marshall's first earned run since July 9th. He gives up a home run. You put 3 on his total. Only given up 2 earned runs all season before this game, and has 3 through 2 1/3. This is a big game. In the 3rd inning with 1 away. Brzezowski hits his 6th home run of the season. That is 2nd on the team behind Tyser Armstrong for the team lead. One home swung on and missed against Keaton Grady, who grounded into that 6-3 double play in the 3rd. Heck scored on the home run, and so did Hensley. Brzezowski now with 32 RBIs as his teammate Grady sends this one into left field for the 2nd out. Dreiling gets under it. 2 away.
The designated hitter number 8, Dalen Pena.
A walk, a hit by pitch, and a home run so far in this 3rd inning for the BJs. They bring the 6th hitter to the plate of the inning, Dalen Pena. And grounded out to Ben Ferenzi in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 4 in yesterday's game, scoring a run but striking out 3 times. Called strike, 0-1. York on deck, poke in the hole. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Trailing by 3, Ferenzi, Terosian, and Gruel. Line drive to left field. It will get down. Dreiling chases it. Runner thinks about going for 2. He is going to go for 2. Had Dreiling's throw been on the money, it would have been in time for an out, but it pulls Rice away from second base. It's a 2-out double for Dalen Pena, and the 3rd inning continues.
The first baseman number 43, Zach York.
BJ's dugouts plenty vocal on the first base side. Larks will look to swing some momentum in the bottom half of the inning. They have just 1 hit, and that's this 3-run lead for the BJ's shows the Larks you can't leave the bases loaded. They've done it a ton this season. They did in the 1st inning. They had 2 on with nobody out in the 1st inning, then struck outs 2 times. Dreiling loaded them up with a single, and then we got a Brown pop out. They've left 4 on in this game and 18 in this series. No balls, 2 strikes to Zach York, who has picked up 2 hits in these 2 games in Hays. 0-2 count. He fouls one to his dugout to stay alive. York out at GCU. Marshall home 0-2 inside and low. Back foot slider 1-2. One-two, flown to left or right center field, but Jimanian gets under and leaves that runner in scoring position. BJ's leave their first on of the day, but they pick up 3 runs and lead by a trio as we go to the bottom half of the third from Larks Park.
I'm happy to make time for your feeling. To admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell ya, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh, oh. And I ain't never gonna stop. Come on. Listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell you.
Bottom of the third, Ben Ferenzi will lead things off for the Larks. Takes a called strike here against Diduck, who worked out of a jam in the first inning, and then worked a 4-batter second inning. 0-1 count to Ferenzi. The pitch is above the letters. 1 ball and a strike. Pitch number 3 is a fastball above the letters. 2-1 counts to Ferenzi. Tarosian on deck. Garrett Gruel in the hole. Larks down by 3 after that 3-run shot from the BJs in the top half of the inning. The BJs have now hit 2 home runs against the Larks this season. 1 in Hayes, 1 in Liberal. It was to right field, and there's nothing Jack Tarosian could do but look up at it. 3-1, it'll be the second walk of the day for the Aussie. Larks get their second lead on base runner of the day, as Tarosian will step to the plate.
The right fielder, number 1, Jack Tarosian.
Ben has walked 10 times this season, including this one through 32 games. Tarosian at the plate. The Creighton Blue Jay is hitting .338 with a .454 OB. Kind of had a slump mid-season after having a really, really hot start, and has started to pick things up as of late. Takes a first pitch fastball outside, 1-0 counts. Jack yesterday 1 for 5. Diduck 2 innings thrown. He's given up 1 hit and 3 walks. He's also hit Jiminian. His longest outing this season was 3 innings against the Rough Riders on the 6th of July. And just 1 earned run, gave up 2 hits, walked 5, struck out 4. Walks have been an issue for him. He's walked 15 through 13 innings. 2-0 fastball outside. Jack up in the count, 3-0. Larks starting off the first inning with back-to-back walks. They could sure use a walk right here or something from Jack to put 2 on with nobody outs. 3-0, he's taken off all the way, or taking it all the way, and it is a called strike. 3-1 hitters counts for the man out of Omaha. Check over at Ben at first base. Not in time. Jack, 45 hits this season, 31 of them singles, 10 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. He's got Gruhl standing on deck, drowning in the hole. And he has a hitter's count. 3-1 outside, back-to-back walks. We're starting off the third inning, just how we started the first. And we got 2 fast guys on the base paths with a big bat coming up to the plates.
The first baseman, number 20, Garrett Gruhl.
Gruhl slugging 771 or 711 this season with a 491 on base percentage. He's picked up 19 hits, 2 home runs, and 7 doubles. 19 RBIs through 12 games and 17 runs scored. Polk finishes his chat with Dyduk. There's 2 on with nobody out. He worked out of a situation like this in the first inning. He struck out back-to-back guys after walking the first 2. One of the guys that struck out was Garrett Gruhl, who's at the plate right now, 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch, he's swinging, he sends it to left center field. It will drop. Ferenzi will be held at third base wisely by Frank Leo because he had to wait on it to see if it would get down between Hex and Hensley. Garrett Gruhl gets his first hit against the BJs this season and loads the bases. Righty up in the pen for the Liberal BJs, as Jared Maeda will come out and have a chat with his pitcher. It was him that got ejected yesterday. I said Jim Blair. That was their old head coach. Maeda, the current head coach, will go out and have a chat. Bases loaded, nobody outs for one of the toughest outs in all of the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. It's Dylan Dreiling. He's picked up 51 hits before this game and has 1 hit already today. He's driven in 57 RBIs. He drove in his 57th yesterday and broke a tie with MLB All-Star Lance Bergman for the single-season Larks record, 4th place spot. Moved up to 3rd, and it's now tied with a current minor leaguer, Austin O'Brien. Mound visit over. Dylan with all the control right now in the game. Standing at the plate, he is 1 for 1 with a single. Standing at third, Ben Ferenzi, Jack Terosian at second. Garrett Gruhl standing at first for the Larks. Drowning takes a few practice hacks, needs to get something going for the Larks momentum-wise here in this third frame. He's a 6-foot freshman headed to Rocky Top this year to play for the Tennessee Volunteers. Only needs to play 2 years to be draft eligible there, after not hearing his name called in the 2022 draft, which surprised almost everybody. 1-0 count to Dylan. He played in 11 games for his grandpa Frank Leo in 2020 and 13 in 2021. Has played in almost every game this summer. Well, maybe not almost every, but he's played in 32 of our 38s. The only guys that have played more than him, Jazz Love with 34 games and Terosian with 36 games. 1-1 counts, bases loaded. Dreiling swinging, he lines it in the right field to score at least 2. They're waving Terosian home. Frank Leo's going to hold Garrett Gruhl at third, and Dylan Dreiling drives up the RBI mark. Has now 59 breaks, the tie for third place, and is just a few behind former MLB World Series champion Jim Lieritz for second all-time in a Larks single season. Big double right there for Dylan Dreiling. 2 for 2 today. Ferenzi scores and Terosian scores. Dreiling drives in a couple and moves Garrett Gruhl to third base. Dyduk now with just a 1-run lead on the mound. Larks will bring Cade Brown to the bump, or to the plate. Not the bump, not the mound, the plates. 0 for 1 today. He has 2 in scoring position. Still nobody out. Larks 2 hits, a single and a double so far in this third frame. They send a guy to the bullpen to go check on the righty who's warming up as Brown's behind a fastball. 0-1 counts. Brown the DH. He hit for the Larks last year and pitched. Returning for this summer, he's played in Dansville and Victoria and for his summer leagues and decided that Hayes is a spot to be again for the summer of 2022. Last year he batted .238, slugged .349, and has a 1-1 count this year in this game and this at-bats. Jack DeRosian scores his 45th run of the season, extending his team leading total. Ben Ferenzi scores his 31st in this inning. 1-1 count, Gruel at third, Drouling at second. Fastball low. Dida continues to have some trouble with his location. He's thrown 60 pitches, 32 strikes, 28 balls. 2-1 count to the Oklahoma Sooner. Ooh, tough swing and a miss right there. 2-2 count. Larks with 3 hits today, 2 of them in this inning. Drouling responsible for 2 of the Larks' 3 hits today. Brown 0 for 1 today. He has Jackson Halter on deck and Austin Jaslove in the hole. Wind starts to blow a little bit from the outfield. It didn't stop Brzezowski's home run at the top of the inning. 2-2. Brown takes it to right field. Getting the catch is Brzezowski, whose throw home is wild of home plate. Larks fans yelling at Frank Leo for not sending him home. But what can you do if you're Frank Leo? You don't know that the throw is going to be wild. It wasn't hit super deep. And York was there to cut it off. Should have been off the line. No more Colby Dyduck as Cade Brown is now 0 for 2. And there's one away with 2 in scoring position. Liberal got a home run in the top half of the inning. Yesterday we had a home run. It was from Hunter Rosson. Let's take a look at that home run from the Ohio State Buckeye. With a .396 on base percentage, he's looking to get on here. Drives this to deep left center field. Hex moves back, and it'll be a solo home run for Hunter Rosson. Big home run for him. He puts us up 2-0. Touch 'em all, Hunter. 4th home run as a Lark.
Cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
New pitcher in the game, Thomas Rehe out of Panola College. Just like the Larks' starting pitcher of the game and current pitcher, Hunter Marshall. He is a Keller, Texas native, but he did not go to Keller High. He went to South Lake Carroll. He was given a perfect game grade of 8 out of high school before heading to Panola. He's a 6'1" righty going up against Jackson Halter with a 1-0 count. Halter reaches for one and fouls it off. A ball and a strike. Reed's just making his third appearance of the season. He pitched 2 innings in his debut on the 14th against the Angels. Gave up 1 hit, 1 run scored unearned, no strikeouts, no walks, and he pitched 3 innings against Fort Collins. In relief, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, struck out 4. Misses outside, 2-1. He's not having as much of luck. Got the same luck as Didak had locating their pitches. Those 2 runs standing on the base paths right now would be accredited to Didak and not to Rehe should they score, and hopefully they do. 2-1 to Halter. He is swinging, looking to bring him in. He misses. 2-2 counts. Gruel at third, Dreiling at second with 1 away here in the bottom half of the 3rd frame. Larks trail by 1. Each team has scored all the runs here in this 3rd frame of action. We're at the 6th hitter of the inning for Hayes. It's the catcher out of Seminole State. Ground ball at the middle. Gruel's taken off. It'll be snagged by Leary, who has no time to do anything. He fakes a throw to third. Jackson Halter reaches on an infield single and drives home Garrett's Gruel. And we will bring Cam Walton out of the dugout to courtesy run for Jackson Halter. Big RBI right there. Garrett Gruel scores his 3rd run against Liberal the past 2 games. Good hustle from Halter. Now 24 hits this season with 24 RBIs. 2 through 4 in the order account for all our runs scored so far in the game. Dreiling with 2 of our RBIs. Halter with 1. Walton's running on the first pitch. As for Renzi, Jaslov grounds it foul. Jaslov had a big 2-strike, 2 RBI single yesterday. Is looking to bring home at least Dreiling here. Tie ball game here in the 3rd inning. Each team has scored a trio of runs. Dreiling at third, Walton at first. Dreiling brought home 2 runs on his double with nobody else in this 3rd inning. Home, he will hit Austin Jaslov, and Jazz will load the bases. Throws his bat to the dugout, takes it off the thigh. That one couldn't have felt good, but he will take second base all the same. First base all the same. Jazz has now been hit 2 times today.
The center fielder, number 8,
Which kind of stinks if you're him. I mean, obviously the pain's one thing. You're happy to take first base, but from what my understanding is with Austin Jaslov and getting to know him this summer, that's a guy who'd rather hit the ball than be hit. He likes to put the ball in play, so frustrated to not have a chance to do it, but he gets first base regardless. Pop fly to the right side of the infield. It goes into foul territory where York gets it. Dominion now 0 for 2. Larks left the bases loaded in the 1st inning. They can't do it here again. They bring their 9th hitter to the plate of the inning. It's Tanner Rice, 0 for 1 today with a walk. Walton at second base in the middle. Jazz at first base. Dreiling at third base. Rice walked in the 1st inning, got to third base, and was left there. Rice, 27 hits this season, 14 RBIs. His first pitch in the zone for a called strike. Good location from Rehe. Rehe has made 28 career appearances at Panola College, a JUCO in Texas, where he's gone 3-4 through 4 starts, striking out 39, walking 44 through 42 2/3. This pitch way outside, a ball and a strike. to the Mesa native. Tanner has been around baseball his whole life. His dad, a baseball coach at Red Mountain High School, where Tanner played for him. Played in 60 games for his dad, bounded 318. Picked up 50 hits through 157 at-bats according to their max preps. 1-1 outside, 2-1 counts. Rice out of the lineup yesterday, but since today they're out of lefties and throwing righties, they will let him hit in the left-hander's batter's box in the lineup today. Ree, the righty on the bump, looks in, gets the signs from his catcher Polk. 2-1 count, 2 away, bases loaded. Rice is swinging, he sends it into center field. Hex doesn't have to move much for it. He gets the out. Larks have let the bases loaded in 4 innings the past 2 days. They've done it twice so far through the first 3. They do pick up 3 runs thanks to a halter single and a dryling double. We're tied as we move to the 4th here at Larks Park. Three apiece here in the top of the 4th inning. Marshall to the bump. He's thrown the first 3 innings, given up 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 earned runs, and he's left 1 on the base paths. Leading off is Hudson Polk, the catcher out of OU, who grounds 1 to Tanner Rice, reaches up on a hop, takes his time, throwing to first. Rolls has that right foot on the bag and catches it in time for the first out of the 4th inning. To Tice Armstrong we go. Teammates of Marshall and Rice at UTA. Grounded into a Gruel to Jaslove to Marshall. Double play in the 2nd inning. That's a tough one to turn. 3-6-1. You got to have speed on the mound, and that shortstop Jaslove has to wait on Marshall to get to the first base bag before he can throw. But the Larks turned it all the same. 1 away, 0-1 counts. 2 strikes in the count now. 1 away. Base is empty. Marshall has struck out 2 today already, looking for number 3. Goes home. Hard ground ball between Ferenzi and Jaslove. The BJs with yet another 2-strike hits. This one had a loud crack at the bats. And gets them their 5th hit of the day. Go ahead run at first base with 1 away in the 4th inning. Larks bullpen empty. The BJs have a guy standing while they have their catcher tying his shoes, looking to get ready to catch. Hext at the plate. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Marshall bounces it in. Halter blocks it. 1-0 counts. Leary on deck. Hensley in the hole for the BJs. Larks and Liberal splits the 2-game series in Liberal. We had to play it as a doubleheader. after the Wednesday game was rained out for 2 innings, and Marshall was a starting pitcher in that game. And he looked good. He worked out of a jam in the first inning and then had all the momentum in the second inning, worked through it quick. And then on came the rain, and he wasn't able to return for the third inning. And it really stinks because he was having a good day, and it looks like the Larks would get a win with the way he was pitching, but we had to pull him and throw 3 different guys the next day, and the Larks took the loss. Before yesterday, that game 2 of that doubleheader was Liberal's last loss. Both of Liberal's RBL losses this year against the Larks. Hex fouls this one off himself. Takes his time getting settled in after being injured. Not injured, but hit by his foul ball. Two-1 runner stays as the line drive is lined foul. That's the second time Liberal has lined one close to the right field foul line towards the corner. But as it tumbled there, it missed to the right side of the chalk. 2-2 counts, ton of fans in attendance witnessing some RMBL baseball decisive game. And a decisive at-bat. 2-2 counts, 1 away for Cooper Hex, the center fielder. Hex this year has played in all 3 games and will strike out for the first time here against Hunter Marshall. Marshall with 3 Ks today, that's 33 on the season. 2 away, runner at first. It's Ryan Leary to the plate. He is 2 of 5 against the Larks this season with an RBI. He's walked 2 times, struck out once, and stolen a base against the home team. Leary batting .339 this season. He's picked up 20 hits and has struggled against the Larks the past 2 days. He went 1 for 3 yesterday. That hit was big. 1 for 3 is not a bad day by any means, but Larks were so close to getting him out for a 3rd time. He came through with a clutch hit and a clutch RBI in that 7th inning where things started to fall apart for the Larks. The Larks gave up 3 runs, then went scoreless in the bottom half. Liberal tied it up, scoring a run in the 8th. But then the Larks picked up 2 runs in the bottom half of that 8th inning. Runner takes off. Halter loses the ball in their transition. That'll be the second guy that steals on him today. There's a runner at second base with 2 away here in the 4th inning in a tied ball game. Halter 3rd on the team, and a runner is caught stealing. He's thrown out 1. Evans has thrown out a couple. LaRue has thrown out 5, I believe, if not 5-4. 1-2 counts. Evans has thrown out 2 of the 15 that have tried him. Halter has thrown out 1 of the 22 that have tried him. And LaRue's thrown out 4 of the 19. Fly ball into center field. Jermanian gets it. Back-to-back innings in with a fly out to the St. Lo native. And the single from Armstrong will not affect the scoreboard as Marshall pitches his 3rd scoreless inning of the day. To the bottom half of the 4th we go. Hayes looking to break the tie. Ferenzi now leading on back-to-back innings. He led off the third with a walk and scored on the Dylan Dreiling double. He walked in the first inning, was left on second base. So 0 for 0 day so far with a pair of walks and a run scored for the man out of Melbourne. 1-0 counts as Rehe will miss the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. Rehe, the second pitcher of the day. Diduck could not finish the third inning. So Diduck 2 in the third, 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 walks. He strikes out 2. Now Rehe down the count 3-0 versus Ben Ferenzi. Ferenzi had only walked 8 times prior to this game through 31 games and has walked 2 times in his 32nd game. Is 1 ball away from his third one. We'll see if he's got the green light here in a tie ball game. In the bottom of the fourth, Rehe goes home. It is a called strike, no swing, 3-1. Larks through the first 3 innings. 4 hits, 4 walks, 3 runs. They've left 7 on base. Fly ball to the right side, foul, and after going down 3-0, Rehe ties it up 3-2. One ball away from a walk, 1 strike away from a strikeout. Payoff pitch from Rehe. Ferenzi swinging, it'll be his first hit of the day, and he will be aboard for the 3rd time. Really good at bat for Ben Ferenzi. Made him throw 6 pitches to him to start an inning, and all it did was put a runner at first for Thomas Rehe. Ben, his 30th hit of the season. He is now back in the hit column after having a 3-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. Alter's single put him on an 8-game hitting streak. Dylan Dreiling's single and double puts him on a 17-game hitting streak. Both batters start off with a first pitch ball. Here in the 4th inning, it's Jack Terozzi at the plate, 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. Jack played 2 years at Hutch Community College before coming to play for the Larks this summer. And while he's playing for us this summer, he commits to Creighton. He sends this fly ball to the right field. Brzezowski gets under it. Our right fielder flies out to theirs for the first outs of the 4th inning.
The first baseman, number 20, Garrett Gruel.
Garrett Gruel to the box. He's working a 1 for 2 efforts with a single run scored and a strikeouts. This past season at Panola, Rehe had 16 appearances after having 12 his first year. He went 2-1, gave up 25 hits, 30 walks, struck out 4, and had a 7.71 ERA. He looks over his shoulder at Ferenzi and misses the zone. 1-0 count to Garrett Gruel. Heard the coaches talking the other day about how happy they were that they picked up Garrett Gruel mid-season. He has been big for the Larks and will continue to be big as we move towards the NBC tournament and the NBC World Series. 1-0 Rehe home. Gruel lines it to left field. A diving effort from Hensley will get the second out. Man, nice diving catch from Hensley. Robs Garrett Gruel of extra bases. He barreled it up and lined it to left field. But it's an out. Drowning will step to the plate. 2 for 2 today. Garrett Gruel has liked those line drives to left field. He's had a few hits off of it. And his first home run as a Lark was a line drive that's had some major exit velocity on and lined over the left field wall. 2 away quick for Dylan Dreiling with a single and a double on the day. The first pitch to him bounces off a pole, rolls halfway to the Larks dugouts. And there's a 1-0 count with a runner at scoring position for the Larks. Ferenzi not super aggressive on the base path, but you think with his speed that if Dreiling can get something out into the grass, could result in a run. Dreiling with 59 RBIs on the season after that 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning. Pitch inside and low, 2-0 counts to Dylan. Dylan needs 7 RBIs to tie Jim Leeritz's 66 RBI record from 1985. Leeritz went on to play for the Yankees and a few other teams. That's second. Jeff Niemeyer has the single-season record for the Larks with 69 RBIs in 1991. Dreiling chops this one up the middle. It bounces a couple times before Grady gets to it. And Dreiling now 2 for 3. Larks leave their 8th runner on of the day. The leadoff single from Ferenzi will not score, just like Armstrong's 1-out single in the top half of the inning. Each team, after scoring 3 in the 3rd, goes scoreless in the 4th. To the 5th we go, tied up at 3. Fifth inning, Marshall back to the bump. His first pitch will be a ball. So leadoff man, Caden Hensley at the bottom of the order. Bottom of the order, top of the 5th. 1-0 counts. Call strike, 1-1 counts. Hensley was hit by Marshall in the 3rd inning and then scored on the next bat, as Brzezowski hit a home run to right field to bring home 3. Line drive left side, 1-2 goes the counts. Marshall threw 4 innings, 62 pitches, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, and a walk. Struck out 3 guys. Gets a ground ball to the right side. Rice hustles forwards, reaches low, a good snag, and the throw will be in time to first base, but knocking it away from Garrett Gruhl is Hensley. He moves to second. The throw is going to go into left field, and that is a tough turn of events right there for the Larks. Rice, they're showing E3 on the scoreboard. Yeah, on the throw, but now on the snag, nothing he could do about that when it was hit out of his glove, but the BJs have the go-ahead run in scoring position. Nothing to be rattled about if you're Hunter Marshall. The coming to the plate is Gavin Brzezowski. He's 2 for 2 today, with a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning, responsible for all the Liberals' runs today. Top of the order, it's the right fielder out of the University of Texas, Arlington, where he's a commit there. Has yet to play a game. He's a Mansfield, Texas native. Line drive past Tanner Rice. Rice has had a little bit of trouble defensively at second base today, as the BJs put runners on the corners with nobody out. Brzezowski now on a 3 for 3 day.
The second baseman, number 15, Keaton Grady.
Larks do have a right-handed arm up in the pen here in the fifth frame. Keaton Grady at the plate. 0 for 2. He grounded into the Jazz Love to Gruel double play in the first. And then flew out to Dylan Drowling in the third inning. A fly out to Drowling would probably score. Hensley from third. He's pretty fast. Thought about swing on it. Instead it misses outside. 1-0 counts. Both teams headed to the NBC World Series, so even if you don't win the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, where both teams will guaranteed finish in the top 2 and get a bid, but each team wants that higher seed and wants the bragging rights. A 2-0 to the second baseman, Grady. Grady out of Incarnate Word. He's an Elgin, Texas native. Check over at the runner at first, sliding in head first is Brzozowski safely. Fly ball foul, 1-2. Brzozowski has changed his luck after an 0 for 5 effort yesterday. Is 3 for 3 with a run and 3 runs driven in. Marshall looks home. Jackson Halter lays down the signs. Pitches home, high and outside, 3-1 counts. Not sure who the guy up and moving in the pen is. I think it is Sam Hendon. But he's just throwing between the mound and home plate in there. Not thrown from the mound. Pop fly to left field. It goes off of Austin Jaslove, who slides forward and throws to second. The outs will not happen there. I think Jazz would probably have been better off letting Drowling get that. Drowling has momentum moving towards the ball and in towards the infield. Jaslove is moving towards the outfield. The BJs get a hit. It is 3 straight singles in the 5th inning, and they take a 4-3 lead as Hensley scores his second run of the day. Keaton Grady drives in his first. Larks trail by 1. 2 on, nobody out here in the 4th frame. Larks have left 8 on the base paths today. Liberals left just 2. Larks kind of looking at that first and third inning when they left the bases loaded in each of them, and maybe feeling some regret now. They left 22 on the base paths against the BJs, despite hitting in just 12 innings against them. 22 on base through 12 innings. Pop fly goes over the nets, past the grandstand. 0-2 counts to Dalen Pena, the DH, who doubled in his last at-bats with 2 away, and the base is empty. Marshall looks at the runner at second, goes home. 0-2 pitch. Pena thought about chasing the slider. Holds up. 1-2 counts. One-two counts. Marshall home. Ground ball to the right side. Gruel spins, throws to first base, where it goes under Marshall and to the dugouts. And that'll be Garrett Gruel's second throwing error of the day. Realized that there was no play at second. Tried to go underhand to first, and it went wild. And the BJs get their second run of the 5th inning. They are up by 2. Still no sign of Keith Harper coming out of the dugout to have a chat with Marshall. Every batter has reached here in this inning. Larks turned a 3-6-1 double play early. They tried to do it here and end up with nothing because, well, the throw to 6 never happened. Pena aboard for the second time. Brzozowski scores his second run. It puts Keaton Grady at third base, and it puts the Liberal lead 5-3. Runners in the corner, still nobody out. Zach York at the plate, 1 for 2 today with a flyout and a single. Cade Hare moves down to the bullpen. He won't pitch today, but he's going down to see how the guy is throwing out there. Marshall home, 0-1, line drive to right field. Terosian will be able to get to it. Runner at third tags. His throw cut off by Gruhl. It's another 3-run inning for the Liberal BJs as Grady tagged up and scored his first run of the game. 6-3 BJs. York 1 for 2 in the day. A single flyout and now a sacrifice fly. Runner at first with 1 away. 6-3 lead for Liberal over Hayes. Runner takes off, a good jump for Dalen Pena. Ends the chance of an inning-ending double play. No throw down. Halters struggled on his throw downs there. He threw one wild into center field and then one he couldn't get the throw off because he fumbled the ball. One counts. Liberal 3 singles start of the inning, then they reached on an error and then had a sacrifice fly. Ground ball goes to Rice, who underhands it to first base. Quick hands from the Mason native gets the Larks their second outs. But in the meantime, Pena moves to third base. I think it is Sam Hendon for sure up and throwing in the pen. As this line drive from Armstrong will be reeled in by Austin Jaslove. Armstrong now 1 for 3 today. Jaslove has been responsible for both of his outs. And that'll end the top half of the 5th inning. BJs match their run total from the 3rd inning and pick up 3 more and lead by 3 to the bottom half. Bottom of the 5th, Cade Brown will lead things off. He is 0 for 2 today, looking for his first hits. Reese still in the bumps. First pitch Outside 1-0 count. Liberal scored 3 in the third inning, and in the bottom half, Larks responded with 3 of their own. Sure would be nice if we could match that here in the 5th inning. 1-0 from Rehe. This is the zone 2-0 counts. Brown walked 3 times yesterday, drove in 2 runs. This is his 23rd game of the summer as a guy in the lineup. He's also pitched in quite a few games. At the plate, 24 RBIs, 15 runs off of 20 hits. Two-one delivered to Cade Brown inside. 3-1 moves the counts. Hitters counts for the DH out of Franklin, Tennessee. Yes, Halter on deck. Jaslove in the hole. 3-1 to Cade will miss low. Larks have started off the past 3 innings and 4 of the 5 innings with the leadoff base runner. That is their 3rd leadoff walk of the day. Brown's 4th walk in the past 2 games. Stands at first base as Jackson Halter struts the dish. Scoreboard bugging out right now. We'll try to get it back up on the stream as soon as possible. Right now, sitting at first base, Cade Brown in a 6-3 ball game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 count for Jackson Halter, who is 1 for 2 today with a single back in inning number 3. Halter pops this one up over the left side. Armstrong gift chase from third base, and he makes the catch in the dirt. 1 away, runner at first base. We're still trying to get the scoreboard to function here in Hayes. Looks like we're back in moving. Austin Jaslove to the plate looking for his first hits. He's been hit by 2 pitches today. First pitch to him, he chases low. No balls and a strike for Jaslove. Austin playing in his 34th game of the summer. He leads the team with 55 hits. Batting .401. Pitch off the glove of Polk. It moves to his left. Cade stays at first base. A ball and a strike. Jaslove at the plate. Brown at first. Dominion on deck. Rice in the hole for Hayes. 3 through 5 the same in the order today for the Larks. Jaslove back at the 8th spot for a consecutive game. And he sends one opposite field. It will roll in the grass. And he will have a 1-out single. And is on a 6-game hitting streak. 2 on, 1 outs. Tying run to the plate in the form of Leo Dominion.
The center fielder, Leo Jr.
Cade at second base, Jaslove at first, Dominion at the plate. He is 0 for 2 today. Against Liberal this season, he is 2 of 12. Each team the best opponent that the other one has seen this season. It's the biggest game for both sides all year, and each team will look for some big success at the NBC tournaments coming up. Leo in his 3rd year with the Larks. Came into this season with a .227 career batting average will drive it up with this single to right field. They send Kate Brown home, and it will be an RBI one-out single for Leo Jiminian. It drives Austin Jaslove to third. Larks get in within 2 here in the 5th inning. 2 singles and a walk so far. Kate scores his first run at a 6-4 BJ's now. Runners on the corners with 1 away for Tanner Rice. Big hit from the veteran out of ETSU. So Tanner Rice, he is 0 for his last 2, was the last out of the 2nd and the 3rd inning. He walked to lead off the game for the Larks offense and was left at third base. Larks left the bases loaded in that inning. They did it again in the 3rd inning. First pitch, outside, 1-0 counts. Rehe looks at Jiminian, standing at first base with a decent lead. Pitch outside, 2-0 counts. Atmosphere starting to swing back in the Larks' favor as some momentum. Gets back on our side after the Jiminian single. Rice looking for his first hits. Flew out to Hexton to end the 3rd. Flew out to Brzozowski to end the 2nd. Pitch inside. He sends it off the inside part of his bat. 3 guys run toward it. Hensley will drop it. Running home is Austin Jaslove. It'll be a run for Austin Jaslove, an error for the Liberal BJs. It's Hensley who picks up the error. Error is 2 on with 1 out. Tying run at second. Go ahead at first base. Rice thankful for the drop. As Jaslove scores, we are within 1. Ferenzi to the plates. Hasn't been out today. 2 walks and a single. Leary has a chat with his pitcher. He's done it a few times today. Those guys talking about something, trying to get settled in. Rice standing at first base. Jiminian at second.
The third baseman, Ben Ferenzi.
Jaslove just scored his 31st run of the season. All 5 runs today from 5 different Larks. Ferenzi, Tarosian, Gruel, Brown, and Jazz each with 1. Ferenzi singled his last at-bats. He's at the plate, although you can't see him. Now you can see him. Jiminian at second, Rice at first with 1 away. Larks and the BJs have combined for 5 runs in this 3rd inning. Jiminian takes off. Good jump. They'll throw to third. The ball goes into left field. Jiminian stands up. He's racing home. Hensley won't throw home. Jiminian steals third and gets home. We are tied up, and the go-ahead run moved up into second base. In the meantime, crowd back on fire. It's just like the 3rd inning. Each team with 3 runs, but the Larks are looking for more. 6-6 here in Hayes. Tanner Rice standing at second base. As Ben Ferenzi has a 1-0 count. I think even the throw, if it was accurate, would not have been an out. Jiminian steals his 2nd bag of the day, number 17 of the season. Tanner Rice stole his 8th. Ferenzi flies this one to the right field side. It goes out of play. 1-1 with the counts. 6-6 each team with 7 hits. Larks have walked 4 times. The Beaches have walked once. Larks have left 8 on. The Liberal Beaches have left 3 on. Each team with a couple of errors as well. Even game for 2 teams, both hungry for a win. 1-1 delivery above the letters. 2-1. Rehe on the mound. He has been a little bit off in this inning. 2 singles, a walk. But there's nothing he can do about the 2 errors that his teammates have been responsible for here in the Larks half of the 5th. Jack Tarosian on deck. Gruel in the hole for Hayes. Ground ball to the right side. Goes slowly to the second baseman, Grady. Pumps and then throws to first. In time for the second out, Rice moves up to third base. Ben out for the first time today. He turns it over to Jack Terosian with 2 outs. Terosian 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. Has also walked and scored. Jack has driven in 23 runs this season. Rice has scored 28. 6-0, call strike over the high outside corner, 0-1 counts. Terosian as of late not a first pitch swinging guy, but he is still having a great year. Waits on reheat to deliver. Pitch inside, almost caught Jack, 1-1. Liberals bullpen empty. Larks still have a righty throwing. Jack scored in the 3rd inning. It is the 8th batter of this 5th inning. Cade Brown walked. Chess and Jeminian singled. Rice reached on an air. Ferenzi just grounded out. Other out was a Jackson Halter pop out in foul territory. 1-2 count, 2 away. Runner at third base in the bottom of the 5th in a tie ball game. Rehe shakes off Polk. Sets up from the stretch, 1-2 home. Fastball outside, 2-2. Two count for Jack Terosian. Big at bats. Larks could take the lead with it. This pitch will catch Jack Terosian. Larks will pick up their 3rd hit by pitch of the day and the 5th of the past 2 games against the BJs. It's the first one today. That is not off Austin Jazz Love. Runners on the corners with 1 away. Or 2 away, excuse me. I wish there was 1 away. Rice at 3rd. Terosian at first base for Garrett Gruhl. Liberal has a guy working with some bands out in the pen. Polk sets up, maybe a little bit outside. The first pitch is in the zone. 0-1 count to Garrett Gruhl. Pitch above the letters, 1-1 counts. It's the man out of Murray State. Game 2 of a 2-game series between the Larks and the BJs. Larks won 6-4 yesterday. Could use this win big time if they want a chance to win the RMBL. Fly ball to the right side will be foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Dylan Drowning stands on deck as Gruhl grounds this one foul. He did that earlier, lined 1. Foul, then lined 1 fair, and Hensley made a diving catch, robbing him of extra bases. Garrett is 1 for 3 today with a single and a run scored. He struck out in the first inning. One-two count. He chases one outside, and the Larks will leave 2 on and score 3 runs to tie it up here in the 5th inning. Just like the 3rd inning, each team scores a trio. To the 6th we go. We are tied up.
We are tied up.
Top of the 6th inning, Sam Hendon will take over on the bump. Marshall out of contention for a win or a loss. Gives us 5 innings and turns it over to a guy who threw a clutch 9th inning or 7th inning against the BJs back on the 23rd. Scoreboard all sorts of trouble right now, so it'll be dropped for at least this half inning, and we'll try to get it back between innings, but right now we got to focus on the action at hand. Leading it off is Cooper Hex. He sends this one to deep right center field. It is going to drop right in front of the wall. He's rounding for third. Throw cut off by Rice. The throw to third is going to be dropped by Ben Ferenzi. It is a leadoff triple for Cooper Hex. So Larks, after getting some momentum back in the 5th inning, see it all go away after the BJs put a runner 90 feet from scoring to start off the 6th frame. Hendon on the bump. He leads the team with 6 wins. He is 6-0. This is his 12th appearance. All appearances in relief for him. He has struck out 17 guys and walked just 5, giving up 17 hits. To the box, Ryan Leary, who is 0 for 2. Hendon, like I said, had that clutch inning against the BJs back in June. Almost a month ago to the day. It was his lone save of the season. Leary led off the 9th inning, or the bottom of the 7th, with a double. Larks were up 3-1. And then Leary led off the inning with a double. Hensley followed up with a double of his own. Ronson was in left field, threw to the cutoff man Jaslov, who threw home. Throw got it out. Got Leary out. Halter applied the tag. Then Thompson doubled. They kept Hensley at third. So after 3 straight doubles, the Larks pulled Kobe Grimsley and went with Sam Hendon. Hendon inherited a 2 in the scoring position. The bottom of the 7th, there was just 1 out with a 3-1 lead. A runner scored on a sacrifice fly, and an error forced the guy at second to third base. Larks were up just 1, and then Sam Hendon forced a sac. York ground out to Ferenzi and got the save. It is a 2-1 count. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Tied up at 6. Hendon just misses the outside corner. 3-1. Hex standing at third base, representing the go-ahead run. Three-one counts. Pitch in the zone. Called strike 2. Full counts for Sam Hendon. And in last pitch against Fort Collins, where he went 2 innings, had an earned run. Struck out 1. That was on the 14th as his first pitching outing in 8 days. Ground ball goes to Jaslov, who ignores the runner at third, goes to first base, makes the right decision, but the BJs take the lead. Next scores his second of the day. Liberal up 7-6. 1 away. Base is empty. 1-run lead for the Liberal BJ. Sam Hendon, who is 6-0 in the season, needs the Larks to get the bats rolling to avoid a loss, which the bats will surely get rolling for Hayes after they scored 3 in the last inning. Fly ball to left field. Dylan Drowning gets it. Hensley now 1 for 2. To the top of the order we go. Gavin Brzozowski to the plate. Good to see him hitting with the bases empty. He is 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He scored those 2 runs, 2 singles, and a home run on the day for him. Called strike. Or swinging, I wasn't looking. I was trying to get our scoreboard right, but it's an 0-1 count. And this one will miss just outside. 1 ball and a strike. One, you betcha, in the zone. 1-2 counts. Liberal with 9 hits today. They have 1 walk and they've scored 7 runs and left 3 on the base paths. 1-2 line to the left side. Brzezowski just trying to stay alive. Marshall through 5 innings. Gives up 8 hits, 1 walk, 6 runs, leaves 3 on the base paths. Turns it over to Sam Hendon. 1-2 from Sam, aligned to Ben Ferenzi, who makes a leaping catch at third base and secures the ball, bringing it down. Good reactions from the Aussie. Ends the top half of the 6th inning, but Liberal takes a 1-run lead off the leadoff triple from Hex, and then the ground out in the next batter. Larks down by 1 as we go to the bottom half of the 6th frame. Dylan Dreiling will lead things off. Lines 1 into center field, and it will be caught by Hext. 1 pitch and 1 out for Thomas Ray. He's getting to the point where when Dylan Dreiling gets out, you're surprised. One away, base pass empty for Cade Brown, who walked in his last at bat, has 4 walks against Liberal and Hayes. 0-1 counts. Brown versus Rehe. Brown 0 for 2 on the day. Wow, a pitch, 1-1 counts. Scoreboard still continues to give troubles. Tried working on it between innings. It's not looking like we're going to get it back. Rehe's gone 3 innings, given up 4 hits and a walk. 3 runs have scored. Only 1 of them has been earned. Liberal scored in the top half of this inning. They're up 7-6. Rehe from the windup to the righty Brown in the zone, called strike 2. Liberal has a right-handed pitcher standing in the pen. Rehe home. Brown lines 1 to the right side just to stay alive. Dylan Dreiling now 2 for 4 today after popping out to Hex to start this 6th inning. He started off 2 for 2 with a single and a double, and 2 RBIs. One, two. Brown swings and misses. Rehu has now retired 3 in a row and struck out 2 of his last 3. Larks didn't strike out in innings 2, 3, and 4. They struck out once in the 5th, now once in the 6th, and they struck out 2 times in the 1st inning. Call strike here to Halter. 0-1 count. Jackson 1 for 3 today with a single, a pop-up, and a ground out. 0-1 counts. Rehe gets the signs from Polk, goes home. Outside, a ball and a strike to Jackson Halter. Larks 1.5 games behind Liberal. They're 21-3 in league play. Liberal 23-2. Pitch home, it's inside. Halter lines it off. 1-2. Reeves made quick work so far through the first 2/3 of the 6th inning, and is 1 strike away from ending it. Larks scored 3 in the last inning, bringing everybody but Dylan Dreiling to the plates. They've never brought less than 4 to the plate. They brought 4 to the plate twice between innings 2 and 4. He shakes off Polk. Throw home. Swung on a miss. He strikes out back-to-back. Stares down Jackson Halter. Gets a scoreless frame on the bump. Retires the side. Into the 7th we go. Hayes trails 7-6. Sam Hendon to the bump for the 7th inning. After the Larks win an order in the 6th, it is still 7-6 Liberal. First pitch is a strike as Keaton Grady showed bunt, pulled it back. 0-1. Storm headed Hayes' way right now, so we're keeping an eye on that as we want to finish this game and get the Larks the win. Ground ball, Hendon reaches up for, bounces, throws to first in time. He's retired 4 in a row.
The DH number 8, Dalen Pena.
Grady now 1 for 4 with a run scored and a single, along with an RBI. Pena to the plate, 1 for 3, but he's been aboard 2 times. He doubled in the 3rd inning and reached on a Garrett Gruhl error in the 5th inning. One away, bases are empty, 7-6 Liberal. Pitch home, misses the zone, inside, 1-0 counts. Pena was not on the Liberal roster when we went out to Liberal in June. He joined them late out of Texas State. 0-1 count. It's lined hard into center field. It will drop. Jiminian races towards it. It is Pena's second hit of the day. A 1-out base hits. Runner at first base. He just got issued a severe thunderstorm warning, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Hopefully no rain delay happens. Runner started to take off for second. Hendon spun around and looked him back. The Larks yesterday had a big eighth inning. That's where they scored their 2 runs to take the lead back. And you want to make sure we get all the chances to hit that we can. Hendon holds up his hands, saying, "Where did that miss the zone?" It's a 1-0 count to the first baseman, Zach York. 1 for 2 today with a single and a sacrifice fly. Polk on deck, Armstrong in the hole for the visiting BJs. 1-0 counts. They have 10 hits today. They walked just once, left 3 on, and scored 7 runs. Score shows a 2-0 count now. Hendon looks at the runner at first. Very small lead for Pena. Pitch home, misses low. 3 balls, no strikes to the first baseman. .30 pitch inside. It is a 4-pitch walk for Hendon. Jackson Halter wants to go out and have a chat with them. Hendon's walked 7 this season. Keith Harper will be out in the dugouts, and we'll have a chance to talk to him and Halter. Two on, 1 away for Hudson Polk, who's 0 for 3 today. Standing at second base is Dalen Pena. Zach York at first. First pitch flown to right field. Out of play. Hendon's been one of the best relievers for the Larks this season. He's been Mr. Reliable. Before giving up 2 earned runs against the Outlaws in the 9th. He hadn't allowed a single run since the 4th of June. 0-1 count. He's on the third base side of the rubber. Runner starts to break for third, holds up. Ground ball goes between Rice and Gruel. Terozzi moves towards it. They will hold the runner at third. The bases are now loaded with 1 out. Polk breaks his 0 for day, is now 1 for 4. Pena at third, York at second, Polk at first base.
The third baseman, number 11, Tyson Armstrong.
11th hit of the day for the Liberal BJs. Hendon looks at Keith Harper, who looks to the pen, and that will be a day for Sam Hendon. Loads the bases with one away here in the 7th inning. Hayes trailing by 1. Liberal looking to extend their lead. Hendon's done. Gives us 1 and a third. We turn it over to the DR native, Chris Echevarria. Make or break moment for him. We've seen some really good outings from him. We've seen some ones where he is shaky. He misses a bunch of letters to Tice Armstrong. A 1-0 count to the man who was singled in his 1-for-3 efforts. Chris has some nasty stuff. Is just locating it. And he gets a swing and a miss. 1-1. He's worked through some shoulder problems this summer after injuring his shoulder at Arizona Western this past spring. This is his 14th game for the Larks, so all appearances are in relief. He is 2-0. He has struck out 28 guys and walked 17. His last inning was against the Tribe, where he went 2 innings, helping out the no-hitter. Struck out 5, walked 2. Before that, 1 and a third versus the Kansas Cannons. 1 run scored. It was unearned. He walked 4 and struck out 3. 1-1 count, bases loaded, 1 away in the 7th inning. Larks down by 1. Pitch just misses the zone. Two-one counts. Pena at thirds, York at seconds. Polk at first. Armstrong working with a 3-1 count as Chris misses the zone. Hitters counts for Armstrong, the third baseman out of UTA. You got Hext on deck, Leary in the hole. Chris looks home, looks at the runner at third, sets up, goes from the stretch, fly ball to the right side and out of play. 3-2, important payoff pitch coming. Chris out of Arizona Western. He's a native of Hato del Mere, Dominican Republic. Runner starts to break home, trying to distract Chris. He delivers the payoff pitch. Swung on a miss. It's a drop third strike. A run will score. Can't blame Chris for that one. It shows E2 on the scoreboard as the Liberal extends their lead to 2. Tough break for the Larks. Halter just couldn't get to it. Chris strikes out another one, but a run scores in the process. That's Pena, his first run of the day. Armstrong now 1 for 4 to the plate. Cooper Hex, and that's tough. Larks had a chance to get a big strikeout and get a second out of the inning on the scoreboard. Instead, the strikeout doesn't count, and there is 1 away still. And then Liberal BJs get on the board for a third straight inning. Ground ball to the Larks dugouts. 0-1 counts. So it's not a drop third strike because the bases were loaded. So Armstrong will not get to stay at first base, but it's still a run scored since you can have a wild pitch there. 2-0 count holds up the umpire. And the scoreboard shows an 0-1 count to Cooper Hex, who tripled in his last at-bat and scored in the inning. One. Leary on deck, Hensley in the hole, Hayes down by 2. Courtesy runner at second base for the catcher Polk. York at third base, fly ball to center field. Jiminian moves back. There is 2 outs, and that will be the third outs. Thomas spoke earlier after the drop third strike. Larks get out of the 7th inning thanks to Chris Echeverry. A run shouldn't have been scored, but it does. And the Liberal BJs lead by 2. Larks try to get the bats going. 2 up, Jazz Love, Jiminian, and Tanner Rice after the 7th inning stretch. Austin Jaslov will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Larks, as the Larks look to get some momentum. Yesterday he had a big hit to get the Larks some momentum. Let's take a look at it before he gets a chance to get the Larks some momentum here today. 1-2, Jaslov sends to the left side. It'll get into left field. They're going to wave Jeminian home. That's a fast guy. It's going to be a tough play for Hensley, whose throw gets cut off. 2 RBIs for Jaslov on the single. It is 4-0 Larks. Jaslov with 2 RBIs in yesterday's contest. They will lead off this 7th frame as the Larks trail by 2. He's been aboard in all 3 plate appearances today. He's been hit twice. Also has a single on the day. It's still Rehe on the bump. He gave up 3 runs in the 5th inning and then worked a 1-2-3-6 inning. They'll go up against the 8-9-1 hitters to start off the 7th. Larks 7 hits today, 5 walks, 6 runs. They've left 10 on the base paths, and that's not to be a repetitive broadcaster, but they have left the bases loaded multiple times today. And you're starting to look at a few of those innings thinking, you don't do that, you get at least 1 more hits, completely different ball game. 0-1 count here to Jaslov, looking for his 2nd hit. He scored back in the 5th inning. It was a 3-run 5th for the Larks. He chases low and outside, 0-2 quickly. Oh, 2 bounces home, a ball and 2 strikes. Cam Walton walks from the bullpen to the dugout, but I'm not sure that's he was throwing. Chris in the dugout currently working with some bands to try and stay loose. He's talking to current trainer Dylan Moore. Fly ball to right field. Grady moves from second base, and Jaslov will pop out to start the 7th. Larks have had 5 straight be retired.
The center fielder, number 8, Leo Jimia.
Rehe versus Leo Jeminian. 1 away, base paths empty in a 2-run ball game. Frenchie is 1 for 3 today. He scored back in the 5th inning off of his single. Fouls this one off a poke. 0-1 counts. Oh, 1 count. We're still trying to get that scoreboard back on the stream. Just not sure what's going on with it right now. Rice currently sitting on deck for Renzi in the hole for the Larks. Oh, 1, Jeminian slaps it to left field, but it will be robbed of a hit as it was right at Hensley. Those are always tough ones right there. 2 away quick in the bottom of the 7th. Larks down by 2 as we go to Tanner Rice, who is 0 for 3 today with a walk. He's been left on third base 2 times today. He, Dreiling, and Holtz are the lone 3 in the lineup to not score so far for the Larks. As the first pitch to him is a called strike. He reached on a Hensley error in the 5th inning. Flew out to center field in the 3rd, flew out to right field in the 2nd, and walked in the 1st inning. 0-1 counts. Pitch is above the letters, 1-1. Rehe has retired 6 in a row. Hasn't allowed a hit since there was 1 out in the 5th inning. Fouled off 1-2. Dyduk through the first 2 1/3, gave up 3 runs. Rehe's thrown 4 1/3. 1 earned run despite 3 scoring on him. He's given up 4 hits and struck out 3. Sets himself up to get a win. It'll be his first of the season. He shakes off Polk, gives him a nod, and then the 1-2 is home. Inside 2-2. Base paths are empty. 2 away. 2-2 count to Rice. Pitch inside and low. 3-2. Rice has walked once today, and he's walked 22 times this season. He's looking for hit number 28. He had yesterday off and is looking to put his hitting streak at 2 games here in this at-bats. Payoff pitch, swung and miss. Rehe stares down Rice, and Rice ignores him as Rehe's now retired 8 in a row and has thrown back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings and a strikeout 4 on the day. To the 8th inning we go. Larks down by 2.
Stay with us.
Rain comes down here in Hayes. We're going to attempt to play through a little bit of it and finish this game as Chris Echevarria will come back to the mound for the 8th inning. Leading things off is Ryan Leary, who is 0 for 3 today, grounding out to Jazz Love in the 6th, flying out to Dominion in the 4th, striking out in the 3rd inning. Fans moved quickly from the stands down to the fan pavilion, trying to get a little bit of shelter. This big storm was on its way. Not sure how far it is now from reaching Hayes, or if it even will reach Hayes. 1 ball and 1 strike. Echevarria versus Leary, the shortstop. Chris struck out and flew out the 2 batters that he faced in the 7th inning. 1-1. Low, 2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. Looking at radar right now, looks like the worst of the storms coming our way. Bunch of red headed towards Hayes, but it's still a little bit of ways, but the Lightning gonna get close sooner or later. 2-2, Echevarria versus Leary. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hensley on deck, Brzezowski in the hole. Leary trying to get on the base pass for the first time today. He's a lone BJ to not reach first base. Pop fly to the right side. Jack Terosian looks up. Loses it in the rain. Reaches at the warning track. It'll drop in right field. It is an E9. Jack Terosian's first error of the season. And that's just, it's tough. He's got the rain coming down in his eyes and he's looking up. And it'll put a leadoff runner at second base.
Left fielder number 1, Caden Hensley.
Larks with 4 errors, Liberal with 3. Leary aboard for the first time, and now every guy in the lineup has seen the base pass. Wind whipping strong out into the outfield. That also was not going to help Terosian. It is whipping the fly out in the left field corner. One 1-0 count, wind whipping. Chris is jersey on the bump. He looks at the runner at second, goes home. 2-0 counts. Counts. So the thing about being this late in the game is that with the rain coming and Liberal having to go home tonight, not that has much to do with it, but there's a chance that the game might be called and then Liberal would win without finishing it. Chris steps off the mound. That win is strong. It just moved the entire backstop. Got in his eyes. He was squinting, and now we'll get back on the mound. Hensley at the plate, 1 for 2 today with a single and a hit by pitch. He scored 2 runs. Pitch outside, 3-0 counts. Larks really need this win bad. If you don't win it, you're not going to win the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. If you win it, you set yourself up to win the league. Frank Leo's out of the dugouts. He's looking at Corey Burkhart, and we will get
Ladies and gentlemen, the game has been called due to the impending
a rain delay.
The game has not been called off. We're just taking precautions.
It is a rain delay. The announcer announced that it had been called off. Everybody in the dugouts was saying, hold up. But the game will be temporarily paused. It's currently a 3-0 count to the bottom of the order. Nobody out. A runner at second base. In the top of the 8th inning, Liberal up by 2. So we'll take a pause on Larks Network and see how this plays out. Well, if you're still with us on Larks Network, this game was just called, and that'll let the Liberal BJs have a cakewalk to the RMBL title. Larks will lose it 8-6. We didn't get to finish the 8th inning. Hayes is now for Cougars tomorrow night. First pitch at 7:30 p.m. Central Time from Larks Park, so be sure to check it out on Larks Network or come down to the ballpark for some Saturday night baseball. 2 games against the Cougars, 2 games against the Saints, and the Larks regular season will wrap up, and we will head down to Wichita for the NBC World Series, where we'll look to bring home our first crown. So Larks lose at 8-6. They fell to 30-8 on the season. They're 21-4 in league play, 2.5 games back. Sitting in second place, Liberal is 24-2 in league play, 29-5 on the season. Larks have a 7-game win streak snapped as they fall here tonight. Big day for Dylan Drouling, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Liberal Gavin Brzezowski has a big day, has a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning, then follows it up with another run in the 5th inning. So Larks lose it 8-6 tonight. They got 4 games left before the NBC World Series. So we'll see you tomorrow night. First pitch against the Denver Cougars, 7:30 Central Time. Thank you for tuning in to the Larks Network. We will see you tomorrow.